I'm Wanda Michael and welcome to IMTV's report for Wednesday, March the 4th. In the news, more jobs have been lost within the community of Dauphin. 3 employees at the Ducks Unlimited office received their pink layoff slips yesterday. Provincial Manager of Ducks Unlimited, Rick Wishart, says the layoffs are effective immediately. The only employee to remain on staff will be the area manager, who will be located to a smaller office. Dwayne Hudd will be responsible for the 70 to 80 projects in the area and will receive assistance from regional staff. Dauphin was not the only area to be targeted with the layoffs. 1 employee at the offices in Minnedosa was released, 2 in Verdun and Stonewall, and 1 from Winnipeg. Wishart says the layoffs are a result of the recession. A lack of funding is the brunt of the problem. This year, their budget has been cut back by a total of some $1 million. Earlier this year, the Dauphin Ducks Unlimited office was cut in half when 4 employees were transferred to other locations. Allegations of physical abuse by a teacher against 1 or more students have been reported to the Winnipegosis RCMP. The events in question allegedly took place at the Scowen School on the Waterhen Reserve. The RCMP say that they are investigating the matter, but they can reveal no details at this time. A parent told IMTV that his son had allegedly been abused by the teacher and that it may have happened to other students. Superintendent Dave Yeo of the Frontier School Division says his division is giving the matter very serious consideration. Yeo says the matter has been reported to Family and Social Services and the school division itself is conducting an investigation. He says he plans on meeting with all concerned parties when he makes his regularly scheduled weekly visit to the school tomorrow. Yeo says he believes this matter will be settled one way or another very shortly. The provincial finance minister says the deficit, high unemployment, and training issues will be the target of next week's budget. Finance Minister Clayton Manis announced today that the provincial budget will be brought down 1 week from today, and the aim is to keep a lid on taxes while maintaining social programs. Manis says the March 11th budget will have to deal with a higher deficit. The government had forecast a deficit of $324 million, but Manis says it will now be closer to $350 million. Manis says the budget will try to tackle high unemployment and training issues as well. Manitobans on social assistance will be able to keep a few more savings and investments without being penalized. In the past, a family on social assistance couldn't have more than $2,000 in savings or investments without having money deducted from their monthly checks. Families will now be able to save a maximum of $3,000. Family Services Minister Harold Gilshammer says the changes will help welfare recipients buy big-ticket items. A disabled person who is a head of the household can save a maximum total of $4,000, up from $2,000. Individuals on social assistance can hold $1,000 in savings or investments, which is up from $400. Single disabled persons can have a maximum of $2,000 from $400. Currently, a disabled person on social assistance receives about $380 a month, and a single person receives about $250 a month. This doesn't include money for rent, utilities, or health care costs. The Canadian Diabetes Association will be holding a workshop in Dauphin later this month. Local Representative Jackie Ferry was in IMTV studios to discuss the conference.
The focus of the conference will be on treatment and healing and how those two are integrated. In other words, how medical treatment fits in with how people use their own inner strengths and motivations to deal with their illness.
Jackie, would you mind highlighting some of the guest speakers?
Dr. Adi Mehta, who is a diabetes specialist from Winnipeg, will be coming up, and he'll be talking about treatment and complications and control and research, latest information about research. And then we have another fellow coming named Rufus Goodstriker, and he is a native healer from Cardston, Alberta, and he'll be talking about using inner strengths for healing and motivation. And in the middle of the day, I will be speaking about the diabetes education program that's run through Manitoba Health. And the coordinator, the provincial coordinator for the program, Noella Depew from Winnipeg, will also be coming to talk about it. And so will the medical advisor, Dr. Sora Ludwig, and she's also a diabetes specialist. So all three of us will be talking about the diabetes education program.
The conference concludes with speaker Mina Stevenson, who is blind. She will explain how she copes with the disease of diabetes and her disability. This conference is open to both healthcare professionals and the general public. Jackie tells us where registration forms can be obtained.
There are registration forms available at all of the pharmacies in Dauphin. And if people are interested from out of town, and we certainly hope they are because it's not just for people in Dauphin, then there's a phone number to call and an address as well. And the phone number is 638-9748, and the address is Box 918, Dauphin, R7N3J5, and the lady to write to is Florence Yak. She's the chairman of the planning committee for the conference. The cost is $10. And that includes the cost of a lunch as well. So lunch is included in the $10 registration fee.
The conference will be held on March 23rd at the 8th Avenue Hall. The registration deadline is next Thursday, March the 12th. Construction unions in this province are saying that construction companies are underpaying employees so they can get the jump on competition. Currently, one Brandon contracting firm is being investigated on this sort of allegation. Part of the union's cry is that it wants rural wage levels raised to equal those paid in Winnipeg. A local parkland contractor says he doesn't agree with the union's charges. He says most companies already pay higher than the minimum wage level for the industry. The parkland contractor also added that wages are increased every year through raises. He did say that while underpaying does happen from time to time, it is not as widespread as construction unions would have people believe. The unions say that employees are accepting the lower wages the employers are offering because the employees believe it is the only way to survive. Manitoba car dealers have been hit by the recession, but many dealers say better days are just around the corner. Jerry Little is so sure he recently bought a car dealership in Winnipeg. Little, who owns Midtown Ford Sales, says all the signs are there that business is about to improve substantially. In the last 2 years, new car sales have been at half their normal level. Bob Ramsey, president of the Manitoba Motor Dealers Association, says that means a lot of consumers will soon have to either buy a new car or face major repair bills. Jim Cornwall, president of Jim Gaucher Mazda, said low interest rates and an anticipated upturn in the real estate and agriculture sectors should help restore consumer confidence. Manitoba's Director of Regional Prosecution says plans are underway to set up a family violence court in Brandon. Michael Watson says representatives from a local women's group will make recommendations to the Justice Department on how the court will operate. A court that deals with family violence was set up in Winnipeg almost 18 months ago. The Justice Department promised to set up the Brandon court last fall, acting on a recommendation from a report by Winnipeg lawyer Dorothy Pedler. The study says domestic violence in the province is nearing epidemic levels. Justice Minister Jim McCrae says there aren't enough cases of family violence in Brandon to warrant a court as large as the one in Winnipeg. Shipments of Canadian wheat and other grains are moving at a frantic pace this winter, and the Canadian Wheat Board may set a record for wheat exports. The rising tide of exports has smashed records for grain shipments at the west coast ports of Vancouver and Prince Rupert for the last 5 months in a row. Wheat Board Commissioner Gordon Machi says the board is testing the upper limits of Canada's grain export system. Machi says the board may set a record for wheat exports before the current crop year ends in July. He credits the rise in exports to increased world consumption of wheat and the board's strong relationship with buyers like Russia and China. Other analysts note that Canada and Europe are the only major wheat brokers with large stocks of wheat to sell at the moment. And finally in the news, the outlook for the unemployed remains bleak with another drop in the Help Wanted Index. The Statistics Canada indicator of the future need for workers fell to 65 last month, down from 69 in January. The last time the index peaked was in April of 1989, when it was at 157. And ever since then, it's been on an uninterrupted decline. However, there were some small gains in the demand for labor in British Columbia and Ontario. Between January and February, the index climbed to 74 in BC, which was up 9%. In Ontario, the index climbed to 61 from 60, an increase of 2%. The areas hardest hit are the Atlantic provinces and Quebec. The index fell 18% in the Atlantic provinces to 90 and dropped 16% in Quebec to 68. Things remained stagnant across the prairies. The index was unchanged and remains at 46. That's been a look at news. Stay tuned for Steve and the weather.
Dulac Auto Sales in St. Rose is a place to go when you're looking to buy your next vehicle. In the market for a car? Well, they have a good selection of 2- and 4-door models. As for trucks, there's plenty to choose from in 2- and 4-wheel drive. All used units are road safety inspected and ready to go. Drive away with peace of mind motoring and a great deal from Dulac Auto. Remember, for the lowest price on a premium vehicle, see Lionel at Dulac Auto Sales, Highway number 5 in St. Rose. Phone 447-2403.
Otis Miller is the type of man that gets a kick out of life's simple pleasures. And he likes Ford tractors because the Ultra Command power shift is so easy to use. He can shuttle from forward to reverse or back again with one simple stroke of the lever. Ford 8030 Series tractors. Just one of life's simple pleasures.
Available at Kelsey Farm Equipment in Swan River, where volume helps us sell for less.
Good evening. A mixture of fog, cloud, and sunshine, and well above normal temperatures covered Manitoba and Saskatchewan today, though here in the parkland I believe we saw nothing but cloud and fog. Little change is expected in these conditions either tonight or tomorrow. As we head into the weekend, the outlook is for cloudy skies, and that should last right through the weekend, and there is a 40 to 50% chance that we could see some precipitation along with all that cloud. Now let's head over to the Environment Canada map, and I'll run down our Manitoba synopsis. Cloud and fog will continue over most of southern Manitoba this evening and into tomorrow. A disturbance in the central states will spread showers and wet flurries into the south late tomorrow, and these will persist on Friday. Temperatures will remain slightly above zero for the next few days. A disturbance tracking eastward across the Northwest Territories tomorrow will keep the north mainly cloudy with flurries into the weekend. Highs tomorrow will remain slightly above seasonable values and climb further on Friday. The Canadian hotspot today was Lethbridge, Alberta at 13 degrees, while the national cold spot was once again Eureka in the Northwest Territories at -41. Looking at the current parkland area temperatures, Swan River is 1 degree, St. Rose and McCreary also 1, Gilbert Plains is -2, Grandview is -2, Roblin, the hot spot in the Parkland, at 5. Russell is 3. Yorkton is 0. And Wasagaming is 2 degrees. Right now in Dauphin, we're under a cloudy sky with some local fog patches. Our temperature is -1. That's 30 degrees Fahrenheit. The winds are out of the northeast at 14. The barometric pressure 102.0 and falling. And the relative humidity 100%. Today's high -1 and our overnight low -4. And they say there hasn't been any trace of precipitation in the last 24 hours, but I think I found some freezing rain on my car this morning. Forecast for the Dauphin and Winnipeg-Osis regions go as follows. In the Dauphin regions, there is a weather warning continued. That is because of all the fog. Tonight, mainly cloudy, fog patches redeveloping overnight, reducing visibility at times to near 0, patchy freezing rain, and light easterly wind, a low of -4. For tomorrow, cloudy with morning fog patches, isolated late-day showers, winds out of the east at 20 kilometers per hour, a high of +2. The low tomorrow night, -4. For Friday, cloudy with scattered showers or wet flurries, and a high of +3. The probability of precipitation in the Dauphin area, 20% tonight, 30% tomorrow, and 40% on Friday. Forecast for the Winnipeg-Osis region, tonight mainly cloudy with local fog patches redeveloping overnight, a light southeast wind, and a low of -7 to -10. For tomorrow, mainly cloudy with local morning fog patches and winds out of the southeast at 20 kilometers per hour, a high of +1. The low tomorrow night, -8. For Friday, mainly cloudy, scattered showers or wet flurries possible, and a high of +2. The probability of precipitation in the Winnipeg-Osis area, 20% tonight, 20% tomorrow, and 40% on Friday. Well, recapping the Parkland weather, look for the cloud and fog to continue until sometime tomorrow afternoon. Then we'll lose the fog probably, but we will see some precipitation. For Friday, the clouds and the wet stuff will continue, and it's likely that that will last right through the weekend. The temperature shouldn't be too bad, though. That's your Parkland weather. Stay tuned. I'll be back after the break with the Parkland Sports.
To be the best in all we do, you're all that matters. We believe this through and through.
Your Ford and Mercury dealers offer 92 Aerostar XLs for just $15,995 special order and equipped with airbag, V6 engine, cloth captain's chairs, air, and automatic, all for $15,995. More for less. Hurry, this offer ends soon.
Manitoba Ford and Mercury dealers, and we're winning the West.
At Yorkton Lumber, we've developed a new concept in RTM homes. For as low as $19.90 a square foot, we can build your new dream home with our exclusive EnviroSystem construction. Here's how we do it. First, we do the big job. We build your home to the finished drywall stage. Then you take over, becoming your own general contractor. With the expert advice of our professionals, you finish your home the way you want. And remember, folks, Yorkton Lumber will always be there for you, because we're not number one, you are.
In sports in Manitoba AAA playoff action, last night the Parkland Rangers won their best-of-5 quarterfinal playoff series with the Pembina Valley Hawks. The Rangers won Game 5 by a score of 6-5. The Rangers were down 2-0 at one point, but as Coach Dave Ralston put it, the guys showed some character, hard work, and pride as they battled back, won the series, and now earn the right to advance in the playoffs. Ralston says he was impressed with his players in last night's game, which was close in all areas like scoring, shots, and penalties. The Rangers' next opponent in a 5-game semifinal series will be the Brandon AAA Wheat Kings. That game goes this Friday in Brandon at 7:30. Coach Ralston says the Brandon squad is a high-skilled, fast team that moves the puck well. He says if the Rangers want playoff success against the Wheat Kings, they'll have to be on top of their game and do things right defensively. This is only the second year the Rangers have been in the league, and Ralston said one of the main goals of the team this year was just to make the playoffs. And one other quick note concerning the upcoming series with the Brandon Wheat Kings, the Rangers won their last 2 regular season meetings with the Wheat Kings. In other AAA playoff action, the Winnipeg Mavericks are taking on the Winnipeg Hawks. The Dauphin Kings are working themselves into a hole in the first-round North Division semifinal series with the Portage Terriers. Last night, the Kings lost 5-4 down in Portage. The loss puts the Kings down 2-0 in the series. The losses are also the only 2 times Portage has beaten Dauphin in nearly 2 years, so they couldn't come at a worse time. The Kings will try to get back on track this Friday night at the DMCC Arena. The Kings host Game 3 of the best-of-7 series. Game time is 8 p.m. It's also School Patrol night at the arena. Members of the Dauphin Ochre School Patrol will be the guests of the Dauphin Lions Club. Patrollers are asked to wear their patrol belts so they can be identified for free game admission. In other Manitoba Junior Hockey League action last night, two other playoff series got underway. The St. Boniface Saints doubled up on the Winnipeg South Blues by a score of 6-3. The Saints now lead that best-of-7 South Division semifinal, 1-0. In another semifinal, a North Division matchup, the Winkler Flyers took a 1-game series lead as they absolutely destroyed the Selkirk Steelers 15-2, and I don't think that series has much of a chance of going the full 7 games. There are no games scheduled tonight in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League. There are 4 games on tap, however, in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League tonight. Estevan is visiting Melville in a South Division matchup. In another South Division showdown, Yorkton travels to Weyburn. A couple of North Division games have Humboldt traveling to Flin Flon, while Melfort hosts Saskatoon. Running down the scores from last night's SJHL action, Melville blanked Notre Dame 3-0. Minot edged Yorkton 4-3, and it was Saskatoon 5, North Battleford 2. There were 2 games last night in the North Central Hockey League semi-final playoff action. The Roblin North Stars were looking for a series sweep over the Blanchard Bobcats, and they got it as they won their 3rd game 6-2. Meanwhile, the Sioux Valley Dakotas were out to try and tie their series with the Fox Warren Falcons, and they managed to do so with a hard-fought 7-6 win. That series is now tied at 1 game apiece. Still with the North Central Hockey League, today it announced its 1991 and 92 award winners. Winning the Most Gentlemanly Player award for the North Division is Ken Eastman of the Wayway Warriors. The Most Gentlemanly Player for the South Division is Blaine Heapy of the Blanchard Bobcats. In the category of Most Valuable Player, there was a tie in the North Division. Larry Gerlis of the Shoal Lake Eagles and Scott Med of the Hamyota Huskies, are joint winners. I hope I got those fellas' names right. The South Division MVP is Curtis Johnson of the Minnesota Nighthawks. There we go. The Swan River Raiders are now in a third place tie with the Minnetonka Eagles and are only 2 points ahead of the Swan River Chargers as competition heats up in the search for playoff berths in the Swan Valley Intermediate Hockey League. Last night, the Raiders downed the Chargers 7-4, and there are a couple of makeup games left, and those will determine which of the teams, the Eagles, the Raiders, or the Chargers, finishes 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and we must remember that the 5th place team will not make it to the playoffs. One of those makeup games goes tomorrow night in Minnetonka. That has the Swan River Raiders taking on the Minnetonka Eagles at 8 p.m. The Scott Tournament of Hearts Canadian Women's Curling Championships in Halifax is well underway. The Connie Laliberte rink from Manitoba continues to lead the way. During this afternoon's 13th draw, the Manitoba rink beat New Brunswick 9-3. That places Manitoba in a first-place tie with Team Canada, the Julie Sutton rink. Both have identical 7-2 records. Both our Manitoba rink and the Team Canada rink have byes in tonight's action, so they'll be back at it tomorrow. And finally, a quick note on the possible NHL strike. NHL players are still saying that they'll strike if a collective bargaining agreement isn't reached within the next 2 weeks. The players have been without a collective bargaining agreement since September, and many NHL general managers are anticipating this strike action is very serious, and they anticipate that it will come on the 16th of March. That's all the sports. Stay tuned. Right after the break, Wanda and I will be back to wrap things up.
For your best hotel value, stay at the Colonial Inn or the Redwood in Brandon. The Colonial Inn boasts 87 rooms, cable TV, indoor pool, and whirlpool. And the Colonial Inn is home of the popular Roll and Pin restaurant. It's luxury for less when you stay at the Colonial Inn. The Redwood Motor Inn features 61 spacious rooms with cable TV, indoor pool, and whirlpool, with a 24-hour coffee bar that serves up complimentary toast and coffee. The Redwood Inn is sure to be a hit with your family. Your next visit to Brandon, stay at the Colonial Inn or the Redwood Motor Inn. Call toll-free 1-800-665-6373 for reservations.
Attention farmers, Sador Farm Equipment in Dauphin wants you to know about the gigantic indoor use tractor sale. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., 3 days only this Thursday to Saturday. Choose from an excellent selection of field-ready 2- and 4-wheel drive units, as well as mechanical front-wheel drive tractors equipped with loader and 3-point hitch. Low interest rates start at 4.9%, or ask about interest-free financing. All units are clearance price and ready to go. Sador Farm Equipment's gigantic indoor use tractor sale. Remember, it's this Thursday to Saturday in Dauphin.
Why put up with weeks of wondering where your refund is? H&R Block announces AccuFile, a new electronic filing service that sends your return directly to Revenue Canada at the push of a button. If you prepare your own tax return, H&R Block will send it electronically to Revenue Canada for only $15, or have them prepare your return and they will transmit it free. You pay only the regular preparation fee, and you'll get your refund weeks sooner. See your local H&R Block representative in Winnipegosis, Grandview, Roblin, Swan River, and Dauphin.
For spring wheat, only one product does it all. Triumph Plus. In one pass, it controls wild oats and green foxtail with the widest window of application, from the 1 to 6 leaf stage, up to emergence of the 3rd tiller, plus over 30 broadleaf weeds. Ask your neighbors who've used it. The results have been overwhelming. Triumph Plus from Hearst. Wow.
Recapping the news this evening, Dauphin's Ducks Unlimited office has received more cutbacks. The employees received layoff notices yesterday, which were effective immediately. The office will now be operated by the area manager. The Winnipegosis RCMP and the Frontier School Division are investigating allegations of physical abuse by a teacher at the Scowen School. The provincial budget will come down next Wednesday. The finance minister is aiming to keep a lid on taxes and maintain the social programs. And Manitobans on social assistance will now be able to have a maximum of $3,000 in savings or investments without being penalized. And here's Steve with the community events.
And we have plenty of them tonight. The Benito Minor Hockey Club will be hosting a time and talent contest, auction actually, on Saturday, March the 7th at 7 p.m. at the Benito Recreation Center. Club members will be auctioning off things like baking, handicrafts, babysitting services, an airplane ride for 2, a fishing trip for 2, and so on. If you wish to make an advance bid, you can call 539-2000 before 6 p.m. on Friday, and any Benito seniors needing a ride to the auction are asked to call 539-2375. The Dauphin Handgun Club will be hosting an open house this Sunday, March the 8th. The time is 1 until 4 p.m. at the Henderson School Indoor Range at 911 Bond Street here in Dauphin. There's free coffee and donuts available and free handgun shooting for adults only. The 83rd Annual Dauphin Ladies Bonspiel is being held March 12th through the 15th. The entry fee is $80 per rink, and there is still room for entries. And entries will close on March the 7th. For more information, you can call Helen Alm at 638-7146. The Dauphin and Area Seniors Bonspiel will be held March 9th, 10th, and 11th at the DMCC Curling Rink. The entry fee is $16 per person. There will be a wind-up and a social on March the 11th. Anyone 55 years of age and over is welcome to enter, and you can contact the curling rink for more information. The 4th Annual Gun and Hobby Show will be held on April the 4th and 5th at the 8th Avenue Hall. It will be open to the public from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m., and that will include hobbies, crafts, and collectibles. There will be a World Day of Prayer interphase prayer service this Friday, March 6th at 7:30 p.m. at the St. Rose de Lima Church. The theme will be Living Wisely with Creation. Lunch will be served, and everyone is welcome. The Dauphin Allied Arts Council, along with the Prairie Theatre Exchange, is presenting Love, Forever, and Other Stories on Monday, March the 23rd at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $5 for, I think this might be wrong, $5 for children, $2 for adults. Maybe it's $2 for children, $5 for adults. And finally, an evening with Bill and Sue Hillman will be held at the Dauphin Allied Arts Center on Saturday, March the 7th from 8 p.m. till 1 a.m. Tickets are $7.50 per person. All proceeds will go to the Dauphin branch of the Canadian Red Cross Society. You can pick up tickets from Foreman Ford in Dauphin and the Dauphin Clinic Pharmacy Red Cross office. And that's all the time that we have for coming events.
Yeah, that's a busy Wednesday or whatever.
It's been quite a busy Wednesday. A bit of a foggy Wednesday out there.
Yeah, exactly. Not all that great out there.
Well, I looked out this morning and I couldn't find my car. Of course, my roommate had moved it out onto the street.
Thanks for joining us. Join us again tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.